All right, happy Independence Day to everybody. I'm starting off this video. Well, actually, this is watch this video for Thursday, July 5th. I'm starting off this video with what I call my very unpopular advice to anyone who's been trading less than 3 years and has young kids depending on them. So I'm going to leave that up for a second because I mean it. You got young kids depending on you and you want to be a trader, that's great. I went through that myself and I followed this exact advice, but got to cover your family expenses while you're trying to build the dream. You have to work your ass off. Can't just say, I'm a trader. You won't be able to pay the bills that way. All right. I don't know of any successfully, consistently, I worded that wrong, consistently profitable trader who hasn't blown up a few accounts. And if you're not bringing in decent money, guaranteed money in the meantime while you're going through this, you're doing it wrong. Let's start with the SPY. SPY up here. I really don't give a lot of weight to what happened on Friday. See, it feels like a weekend. What happened on Tuesday? Because you see, the volume's dead. There was just, there was almost nobody participating. I only had one decent trade, and I'm surprised I got that. It was pretty thin out there. So anyway, I'm not going to get into it, but the SPY is definitely in a clearly defined range for the past 6-7 days, from here to here, and kind of sitting. Let's look at it on 60 so you can kind of see. Pan out a little bit. Does look head and shouldery on 60s though, with the neckline being right around 268, 269. So doesn't look great on 60s as far as head and shoulders being sitting there, but head and shoulders don't always play out. But it is kind of in the middle of the range that it's been in over the past, I don't know, this is May 3rd, so a couple months. Here's the low, here's the high. We're kind of sitting actually maybe in the upper end of the last 2 months range. Anyway, doesn't matter that much because as a day trader, I just log in with a list of potential stocks that I can make some money the next day and then back to cash before the close. So here's the list for Thursday. CDXC, holding up pretty well. Looks like it's had four was support back here, the 4 area, not the exact number, and then was resistance here. A little bit of extra volume on Friday and closing above 4, so I'm going to look for a follow-through day on that one, kind of maybe a little mini breakout. RCON had this gap here that got thwarted, and then right back down into a range. But when I go to 15-minute candles, see a little bit of extra volume on, let's see, that would have been Monday and then also on Tuesday. So I kind of like it over this 2-day high. I'll zoom in a little bit. You've got 159 and 158. So, up over 160. Maybe this breaks out. I do like the volume that has been showing the last couple days. LBIX had a nice pop back here, 4 sessions ago, then right back down, then right back up, then an inside day. So this one does seem like it's building. Had a big move back here, building for maybe a breakout. So I'm going to keep that one on watch. SPCB, again, I don't give a lot of weight to Tuesday's trading, almost no volume, but it had this nice pop and then the inside day. The whole number 2 might come into play as an inflection point on Thursday, so we'll see. I like the volume that it had on that earnings release day, I guess it was. GEVO, very weird stock. Had some news in pre-market on Tuesday, and so it gapped up. And this was like my number 1 pick after the gap if it met some parameters, but it didn't, right? It ended up selling off from the open and never gave a setup. That doesn't mean I'm not going to watch it. I know it's weird because it ran from $4 to 24 and then all the way back, complete round trip. And each little gap up here, this was a gap down, but each little gap up is being smacked right back down so far. But I'm not sure how much more shorts think they're going to get out of this. So this one might get like kind of a little mini short squeeze one of these days. Absolutely worth keeping on watch. GBR, nobody expected after this gap up day, nobody expected this the next day or this the next day, right? And so this candle makes perfect sense to me. I mean, this thing was, nobody, including the company, knew why it was doing this, right? And I just think it was a short squeeze. People kept shorting and it kept getting bought up, so they had to cover and so on. But this is one nasty. Can you imagine, by the way, real quick, can you imagine seeing, this closed at 9 after this topping tail, right? And then the next day it opens at 12. Can you imagine some of these people that have no method and they just buy a gap up right at the opening print, they buy it. Can you imagine being the guy that bought that at 12 bucks? I mean, it just got decimated. So the lesson there, and I think most of you probably already know this, but some of you might not, never buy the opening print. It's a coin flip. This could have opened at 12 and gone to 20. Nothing would surprise me with this stock or in this market. But if you buy this at 12 and it does rip to 14 or 15, you're probably going to sell it at 13 first of all, and then and then end up chasing it again if it keeps going. But not only that, you've just taught yourself a terrible habit and you've reinforced it. If you buy this at the opening print and it goes to 15, 16, 20, next time you have a stupid gap up that no one can explain and you buy it, you're going to end up like this. So it's really important as a trader to develop good habits. There's always going to be anomalies where, man, if I would have just bought the opening print, I'd have made a killing today. That doesn't matter because it was a coin flip. It was you're just reinforcing bad habits. So if you have a set of rules in place and you break it one day and you make money breaking it, the market will get it back. I promise you the market will get it back. So it's really important to have a clearly defined set of rules that make sense and always stick to them. You're always going to see anomalies that, well, if I'd have broke my rules, I would have done well. So those rules are stupid. You can't do that. You have to stick to your rules because you have to develop bad habits if you want to be consistently profitable. Oh, let me go back to GBR real quick. Even with this nasty candle, because of its crazy recent action, if this does put in a narrow range, and I've got a couple other setups that I would also get involved in, but just to give you a brief synopsis of what I'd like to see, this puts in a narrow range on Thursday, and then breaks out to the upside, you could get a nice pop. So I'm gonna watch it. But overall, when I look at this chart, it's just screaming stay away to me. But I do want to watch it because it might give me a nice setup. TGC. This is the one decent trade I had on Tuesday. Ended up closing well off of its highs. But remember, I'm a day trader, so I took a trade. I made some money, put it in my bank, and then back to cash. It's like people are going, well, where's the next low price, low float oil and gas play? And I guess they settled on TGC on Tuesday, closing well off its highs, but also well off its lows. So if oil and gas plays get any kind of a bid, this is a good candidate to go to. NIHD, very strong, very strong. Just had this, breakout through the 375 area right here a few days ago, and pulled back on lower volume, and it's actually showing really nice strength. So I don't have any kind of clean setup. Here, I love it at this price, but I'm going to have it on a chart and see if it meets one of my setups. All right. GEMP was on bounce watch after the gap up in 2 red days. Well, we just had another red day. Actually hit the 200 day. So there was no trades in it on Tuesday, but it still goes on bounce watch for Thursday. Tesla. Let's see, I have everything on watch. Let me try to type that again. Everything on watch from penny stocks to this $300 stock. TSLA. And I'm going to bring over a smaller chart here because on this small chart, that orange line is the 50-day. I don't keep the 50-day on my main chart, but my one daily chart that I always default to the daily, I have the 50-day on there. And the 50-day, to me, does come into play on the daily chart. I just don't have it on this chart because this is the chart I use for usually my 5-minute candles. Anyway, long story short, you've had 2 nasty days down. I mean, it's fallen from 364.78 down to 310.86. That's quite the drop in 2 days, and it's hitting the 50 days. So this definitely goes on bounce watch for me on Thursday. And then TRXC. You've got a lot of trading that transpired between the $3.50 and $4 area, and then it made a nice move to over 6. Well, now we're right back down into that area between $3.50 and 4. So it is at an area of support after several days down in a row on declining volume. Pretty good setup for a bounce play. The whole number 4 also might come into play. That was Tuesday's high. So if I had to give any kind of number, I would say I love this through 4 on Thursday, but we don't know how, not if it opens at 3 and then runs to 4. So we always want to take them on a case-by-case basis. And I'll also note that most of my plays are like morning gap plays or potential breakout plays or follow through from a big day yesterday. And so you usually get, even if this trigger sets up and gives a nice setup and gives a nice little pop, usually I expect less from a stock that's down 4 or 5 days in a row. A bounce isn't expected to just rip to new highs, unlike maybe a follow-through day or a gap play that's breaking to new highs. So this is I don't know, I give less weight to these bounce plays, but I still might get a trade in them. I just expect less of an explosive move, even if they meet my parameters on an intraday trade basis. All right, so check the links below. We've got a link to all of our free webinars, which there's a lot of good pearls of wisdom in there. So check that out, especially if you've got nothing to do today. Weather's kind of cruddy down here in Florida, so it's a good day to study. We've got some other links for special offers, 4th of July special for the chat room and our trading course, and also a combo special for both, which you can actually grab a lifetime to the chat room with the combo with the course. So we don't even offer lifetime on the site anymore, but we will throw in the lifetime on that combo special if you check out our course, which, by the way, 100% positive reviews so far. We haven't had one negative comment about it, so we're very proud of it. I'm going to quit babbling. I'm going to go enjoy my 4th Independence Day, and we'll see everybody on Thursday.